Well, hello YouTube, subscribers, viewers, just checking it out, people. Welcome to Jim's Mixture. Thank you for tuning in, and if you like this video, like it. If you don't, you know what to do with that. Would sure appreciate your subscription. Had put up some videos and stuff, and we'll just let you know there's a new camera person on staff here now, and it's my beautiful wife. She's learning this stuff, so if we get shaky or we do something strange, just bear with us. We're going to get there. This evening, we're going to review for you a Bergara B14. I'll give you more details in just a minute, which is kind of out here on the stands. You'll notice that the bolt is out of the rifle, and the rifle is safe and clear. So let's go ahead and talk about the Bergara B14. It is a B14 Ridge Graphite Black Cerakote. There are a lot of these B14 rifles out there, and there's some nuances and differences in them. And for our time tonight, we're going to be looking at this particular B14 Ridge Graphite Black Cerakote. This is a 708, 7mm 08, which means it's a short action. Bergara rifles are made in Bergara, Spain, and imported into Georgia from where they are distributed. Bergara has been making excellent rifle barrels for many, many years. Got into the rifle business a good while back and are making some great rifles. And we'll talk about some of the highlights, the goods and the bads about this particular rifle. Again, it's a 7mm 08 short action. It is on a Remington cloned action, if you will. It is a chunky rifle, no scope or mounts, empty, no rounds in the magazine. It weighs 7.6 pounds. I've got a Zeiss 4-10, and it is, it's a 3-9 44. It's a Zeiss Conquest. And standard Leupold mounts, and they are standard Remington 700 mounts. And this made the rifle weigh in at 8.4 pounds. So it is a chunky chicken. I guess let's start out with the bolt and some of the things that are unique about this bolt, and some of the things that it is where it leaves the traditional Remington 700 out. Number one, it is a coned bolt. The front of it, I don't know if my wife can zoom into where she can see this, is coned. It is shaped. It also has a modified, it doesn't have the little typical ring extractor that the 700 has, but it doesn't have the full M16 style extractors that you see on some of them, but it does have a substantial extractor put in this lug. It is a 2-lug bolt. It does have a enlarged bolt knob on it, which is threaded 5/16, so it can be removed and replaced with something else. This one does have the metal shroud. I know that some of the early models had trouble with the shrouds. This one hasn't given me any trouble. It is a typical Remington 700 style safety, and but it's a very strong trigger assembly. The action itself, if I can put it back together, is very smooth. Is very smooth, plain and simple. However, when it is on safe, down and on safe, you can lift and cycle the bolt. Remember that when you're carrying this rifle in a hunting situation and you bumping around through the woods and brush, I've never had it happen in 50 plus years of hunting. I'm getting old. I've never had it happen that I've had a 700 come open hiking, but I'm sure that it could happen. One other thing to notice about the action is on the opposite side from the bolt handle is the magazine release. which is very nice. It's out of the way if you want to put aftermarket stocks on it, and the bolt is just easily retracted from it. It does have metal floor plate and trigger guard. It is just the standard BDL style that you would be familiar with from Remington, and it's very smooth, works very good. The action works good. I've shot this rifle a good little bit, and there was no fails to feed, no fails to eject. And if she can zoom in, I do want to show you one thing on this particular rifle. When you look at the B14 owner's manual and product information, it shows that you have to remove this floor plate to adjust the trigger. On this particular B14 Graphite, you can adjust the trigger from a screw inside here. Now, I did not find that I needed to adjust the trigger, but the adjustment is here. It's got a wonderfully made trigger, which is really unique. This is one of their points. It really reminds me of some of the old style Remington 700 original triggers. It's nice, it's smooth, it's curved, it fits your finger. This rifle broke clean and crisp at about 2.8 pounds right out of the box. The trigger is excellent on this rifle. This one again is chambered in the 7mm 08, and it is a 22-inch barrel. It is a 1 9.5 twist barrel. It is threaded on the muzzle, half 28. They've done a very good job. It does have a recessed hunter style crown, which I really prefer. It is a 4140 polychrome steel barrel, and it is a number 5 taper. And that's part of the reason it's so heavy, is that barrel is heavy. And to be honest, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. The stock. Let's talk about the stock. This is first of all, the barrel is very generously free-floated. I mean, it's really, a lot of them, they'll just barely pass the dollar bill test. This will probably pass a matchbook or better test to go through under the stock, but very well fit to the action as well. Sometimes I've had to skim bed rifles and things like that, but this is very well fit to the stock. There isn't, not anything I have to do to it. It is a molded synthetic stock with glass fiber reinforcement. It does not feel cheap. It does not feel hollow, and it has a premium feel. It is a typical American style hunter stock with some pressed in or molded in checkering, 2 sling swivel studs, a recoil pad on the rifle. Again, it's not overly labeled. I would say that it would take away from the general looks of the rifle. The balance of the rifle is okay. I'm just going to give that an okay. So let's talk about the shooting. I'm a Nosler fan. You might have guessed that. If you watch any of my videos, you'll see that. I have shot everything in this from 139 grain Hornadays up to 160 grain Nosler partitions and Accubons. I feel like in the 7mm 08, for me, the ideal weight on this rifle for what it's intended for, and I'm going to be honest with you, I live in Wyoming, and I consider the 7mm 08 a little light for elk. Sure, you can kill anything with anything if you get lucky. But I just find that it's a little light for that. But anything under that, mule deer, antelope, whatever, I found that the 140 grains are my favorites. Again, I shot also the 150 Sierra Game Kings. My best accuracy was actually with the Nosler Accubon, not the Accubon long range. Don't recommend those for a hunting bullet. But the Accubon, just the regular Accubon 140 grain, Bergara gives you a sub MOA 3-shot group guarantee. This particular rifle is shooting .4 to .56 with the Accubon is doing really good. It's shooting a little, not as hardly as good with the partition, but still under 3/4 of an inch at 100 yards. It is, it's a very, very well made rifle. So let's talk about some of the cons of the rifle. Weight. First off, and up front, the weight is a little front heavy because of the barrel, so it's not got the balance that I would really like to see in a rifle. But again, that's preference, personal preference. But the one thing that they really need to work on, even though the 7mm 08 doesn't have a lot of recoil, this recoil pad is almost solid. It has almost no give in it whatsoever. It is just really hard and tough. So if you are sensitive to recoil, then you may want to think about maybe a limb saver or another type of recoil pad, which is held on this one with two Phillips screws that you can easily get to switch it out. It is just a really good, well shooting rifle. I did bore scope it. I bore scoped all of them. I've got a Telson bore scope. The rifling, everything in it is good. The action's good. Head spacing's good. Chamber's good. The workmanship and accuracy of the rifle are excellent. So as far as what I would give on this rifle, I would give it a 9 out of 10 for overall fit, finish. I would give it a 9.5 out of function because it just feeds so well, cycles so well, and the bolt's very smooth. Trigger's excellent. This enlarged bolt handle really makes that bolt nice. Again, it's a 90-degree throw bolt, as is the 700s. The stock isn't cheap. The stock feels good, along with the color that you get with the little specks in there. It gives it a little rough texture, but not offensively rough texture. I'll just say it that way. So overall, the rifle is a good solid 9 all the way around. I give the trigger a 10. I'll give the action at least a 9.5, a 10 for feeding. No failures to feed whatsoever. And again, running everything through the rifle from 139 grain up to 165. Stabilizes the 165s very well. So if you wanted to shoot heavy in it, that would be great as well. So if you have questions or anything you'd like to ask or want more information on it, please leave a comment and we'll check it. If you don't like the video, leave a comment about that. We're trying to do better at these. And I'd said in an earlier video that I was going to kind of back off, but my wife has decided she'd step up and help me out, and I really, really do appreciate it. It's just hard to, I feel like, to do these videos with your phone in your face and you don't get to see everything. So I hope that the video has been informative for you. If you'd like to see a video with this thing at the range and some firing and targets and things like that, leave that in the comments as well. Thank you for tuning in. We're doing this video on a Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so I would hope and pray that God would bless you as you are grateful and thankful on this Thanksgiving. And Christmas, yes, Christmas is right around the corner. Let us remember it's about the birth of our Savior and Lord Jesus, our Christ. God bless you. Have a great holiday season. Good night.